Quick live stream. Why is this even on here right now? Shouldn't even be on here. What was I watching? Something about the recap of 20 underground rap recap or something like that. Best underground artist of 20 of each year or something like that. Yeah, I'm about to watch that. I'm about to watch this joint again real quick.
Alright, so what is good YouTube? In today's video, I want to speak about the best underground rappers from each year. I'm going to be starting with 2020 to 2025, and I might make a prediction for who I think might be the best underground rapper in 2026. Just a little prediction, but this video, it will have honorable mentions for people I think had a good year in one of those years, but personally, I don't think they were the best. And this is no hate to any artist. This is just my opinion, but yeah, let's hop straight into this video. Alright, so the first time period I have for today's video is 2020, and the artist I will be putting here is SoFaygo. He was dropping straight classics like Angelic 7, After Me, and much more. He had hit songs like Knock Knock,
was that guy
Off the
in
Map, and much more as well.
2020.
In my opinion, I do think he was the best artist in 2020. The only
That song Every Day was a hit, I ain't gonna lie. I like the song Every Day and Off the Map.
contenders I can see you making a argument for it is probably somebody in Slay World, probably like Autumn or Summers or some shit like that. But even then, SoFaygo made a diss track on him and he completely watched him, in my opinion. But in 2025, SoFaygo is kind of declined from where he was in 2020. In my personal opinion, I know he just dropped the album that people really do like, but I personally didn't really rock with the album. It's just not my cup of tea. Alright, but yeah, that's gonna be it for 2020. Let's move on to the next year, which is 2021. Alright.
He had a lot of potential and has a lot of potential, so it's like, you really can't say that to him.
So the next time period I want to speak about in today's video is 2021, and the artist I have for 2021 is Yeat, and obviously it's undeniable Yeat's greatness in 2021. He was dropping straight classics like Up to Me.
Yeat was the guy. Yeat was the one in 2021, I ain't gonna lie.
To Alive Geek Pack.
Yeat had the underground and the chokehold.
Hella more classics during this time period. Even though the 2021 underground was stacked as we know it, it was probably the pinnacle of the underground. I feel like it was a pretty easy choice to pick Yeat. In my opinion, I do think Yeat had the best growth and probably the best music out of anybody in 2021 in the underground, which played a huge factor for me putting him on this list. Overall, that's going to be it for the 2021 time period in the underground. Let's move on to the next time period. Alright, so the next time period I will be doing for today's video is 2022, and the artist I will be putting here is Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely. I feel like they both had big years in 2022 because Ken Carson, he dropped his album X and Extended, and Lonely, he dropped his album No Stylist, which is an underground classic. Both of them are. I know I'm not supposed to be putting two artists in the same year, but I feel like I have to put them there just for the simple fact these albums they dropped in this year simply changed the structure of the underground. Another reason why I'm putting two artists in the same year is just for the simple fact that I feel like Ken Carson deserves to be on the list at least one time because I know he dropped his best work in 2023 with A Great Chaos.
Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely were the ones.
But I feel like the artist I'm about to talk about next is supposed to be there for 2023. So yeah, overall that's going to be it for the 2022 segment. Let's move on to the next year. Alright, so the next time period I want to speak about in today's video is 2023, and the artist I have for 2023 is Osama Sun. And obviously, I feel like we all should know Osama Sun is going to be here in 2023 because I feel like he had the best year, the best growth, and the best music. He had dropped Osama Season and he dropped Flex music during these years. The only people I can see you making an argument for during this time period is Shay, Swappa, Yabo JJ, and Netspin. But I feel like everybody will agree with me when I say Netspin was probably the best artist in the underground in 2023. And I don't count Ken Carson because I feel like after A Great Chaos, he became mainstream. And I'm not counting that album because I feel like that's where he became mainstream. So yeah. Also, majority of the songs off of Flex Music and Osama Season still hold up to this day, and I still feel like some of them are still some of his best songs to this day. So yeah. Alright, but that's gonna be it for 2023. Let's move on to the next time period. Alright, so the next time period I will be discussing in today's video is 2024, and the artist I have for 2024 is Shay. And Shay had a
I only heard a
humongous
couple
year in
of songs. I ain't
2024
gonna lie
with
to you.
dropping Say So Says, and a lot of artists did have a good year, like 1AM, Osana, Protect, Netspin, and Laserdem all had amazing, huge years in 2024. But I feel like Shay had the most consistent year in 2024, and I have to give it to Shay, with a close second being Netspin, because he had a crazy project with BFAK, and that project was so good, and it made it to my top 2 projects this year. Last year, I feel like Say So Says was probably my favorite project of 2024. Also, I forgot to mention, Osama Sudden did drop a deluxe project to Flex Music during this year, early in the year. Overall, that's going to be it for 2024. Let's move on to the next time period. Alright, so the next time period I will be talking about in today's video is 2025, and the artist I have for 2025 is Nine Vicious.
Oh, come on, man.
Obviously, he's been my favorite artist for the whole entire year. I've been stating that in my videos. But a close second will be Pride Bag Shorty. I feel like he had an amazing year. In 2025, he dropped
Also, follow the Twitch. I'll link it in the description when it's all finished.
hella classics, and I've been bumping Pride Bag Shorty
Live cook-ups and more on the Twitch.
hella recently. I'm not gonna lie, looking back in 2025, we're gonna realize 2025 was low-key a crazy year, because we got people like Osama Sun, Protect, Shay, 1AM, even Pride Bag Shorty all dropped albums, and all those albums sounded good. Even Xavier So Bass and Netspin, they dropped a little EP. Overall, I feel like 2025 was a great year for the underground. There was a lot of good music dropped in this year, and a lot of new upcoming artists that came around in this year. So yeah. Alright, let's move on to the final year I want to speak about in today's video. Alright, so the final year I want to speak about in today's video is 2026, and I know we're not in 2026 yet, even though when I'm recording this video it's December something. We're close to 2026. I just want to give a little prediction for who I think will be the best underground artist in 2026, and in my opinion, it has to be Rex V2. If I had to put my money on it, it would probably be Rex V2. He dropped 2 amazing projects in the year 2025, and he's been going crazy even before that. I've been tapped in with Rex since 2025.
Hold on. Make sure it's not copyright here.
Other underground artists this year, and you know, it might happen in 2026, so who knows. Alright, so yeah, that's my prediction for who I think will be the best artist in 2026, so let's move on. Overall, that's going to be the end of today's video. If y'all did enjoy the video, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how y'all like the video.
I mean, it's a valid list. It's valid. But if you ask a lot of people, they're going to say
Style.